I was actually trying to find out about a good story to tell about superstition, and I'm actually a neuroscientist by training, so one of the things is that I don't actually believe in superstition. We all learned about B.F. Skinner, who basically did this thing with pigeons, where it was on a fixed ratio they would get food. But then you notice that the pigeons, if they turned bright, and they would get whatever they eat. That they would continue to do that, thinking that was going to be influencing what was actually happening. So then, growing up, we had all sorts of superstitions on the block I grew up on, and most of them turned out wrong. I think we used to talk about the step on a crack, break your mom's back. I'll be honest, there were times when I was mad at my mom, so I stepped on a lot of cracks. It didn't work. She's healthy. But there was one superstition that actually bore out to be true. And I only found this out about a year ago here in South Philly. Well, not here, but in South Philly. There was this crazy lady that lived on our block, and we thought that she was a witch. And her house number was 320. And so growing up, after that, any house that ended in 320, we just stay away from. That was just kind of the superstition that carried out through the neighborhood. Just anybody with 320 in their number, you stay away from. So about a year ago, I was coming back from a bike race, and I was meeting some friends down at the cantina to celebrate with some we call them recoveritas. And I'm walking down a block from my house, and there's this old lady standing outside the door, and she's like, "Oh, can you help me? I want to be a good neighbor." So I start to walk in, and as I walk in, I notice 320. Well, but I'm not going to give you all the numbers there, because, somebody else might want to go there too someday. Anyway, so I go in, and I'm like, huh, and as I walked in, I remembered, I was like, 320, oh, whatever. That's just a crazy superstition, I walk in, and there's actually newspaper, on the windows to keep the sun out, for some reason. I don't know. And I walk in, and it smells terrible. And all of a sudden, I'm getting a really bad feeling about this, and all that's running through my head is 320. Oh, shit. It's dark. And she asked me to come in and fix her light for her. So I was like, oh, I'll do that. But then all of a sudden, as soon as I walked in, I started to regret it. And I thought, she's going to kill me. I had never, I'd never been so scared in my life. It was that moment where you're all the hair stand up in your back, and you're like, there's probably a bunch of guys in here. I can't see anything. They're all going to just beat the shit out of me, and I don't know. It was really bad. And then as I trying to survey the area for who's going to jump me in this old lady's house, I look over and I see a dead body on the couch. It was terrifying. It confirmed everything that I was suspecting. And the only thing I can make out is the what's called the silhouette. Thank you. Of this dead body, and I was convinced it was dead. and then all of a sudden, the lady kind of noticed how scared I was, and she's like, "Oh, that's my mom." And the lady who invited me in must have been 75 or something. I'm like, "Is her mom still alive?" And I'm like, "No, she's not." Well, then I noticed that the mom started to move. She kind of shook a little bit, so I felt a little bit better. And then as she took me to the house, and I watched that show Hoarders. This was basically that situation, and I had to scurry through, and I heard little animals running around the ground. And I couldn't see anything. It was really terrifying. So then I ended up helping her. It was one of those fluorescent lights, and you have to kind of twist it and shake it. Every now and then, it'll turn on for just a second. And that, second was just terrifying. Because, you look around, there's just trash everywhere. And I was just like, oh, God. So, you know, I climbed down off the table once it's there, and I was just like, I have to get the fuck out of here. And she's like, oh, can I give you a soda pop? And I was like, oh, no, you know, and I look over, and I still see the mom, and she is, like, for all intents and purposes, dead. And I was like, no, I really have to meet my friends. And so I get out of there, I run to the cantina, and you know, my friend's at the table, I'm like, and I ran right to the bathroom, started washing my hands. Just like our previous Stephen, I think. Sorry, that was really mean. And so then, so basically what I learned from this is that just stay out of any house that has 320. I'm sorry, don't help any old ladies out that have 320 in the number or anything like that. Thank you.